What's going on, everyone? It's JDC here, back in the video, and today we're going to talk about the Toronto Raptors and their situation moving forward. But before that, really quick, I'm going to need you guys to drop a like down below, press the subscribe button. It would really help the algorithm, help grow the channel to other people like Houston Rockets content, and help grow the channel in general. So I need you guys to drop a like down below, press the subscribe button, and let's get into the video. So I thought today we could switch it up from Houston Rockets content, get some love to my Canadian boys out there, Gamer and Matthew. This one's for you guys. Other than that, my Canadian guys who like the Toronto Raptors. So yeah, I'm a Canadian native, you already know. Toronto Raptors games are always live for me, so let's get into the video. And the first thing that kind of stands out to me for the Toronto Raptors is their roster. Now they have a lot of good young pieces on this roster. We got Pascal Siakam, we got Fred VanVleet, we got OG Anunoby, we got Malachi Flynn, we got Khem Birch, Gary Trent Jr., and Chris Boucher. Now this young core is actually really nice. I really like this young core. Fred VanVleet is a borderline all-star. Pascal Siakam's an all-star player, even though he didn't really look like it this season or last season, the second half of that season. But OG Anunoby is a really good 3-and-D player that has some really good value, but I highly doubt the Raptors would really move on from him. Malachi Flynn is a really good bench piece, a really good rookie for the Toronto Raptors, man. I really like his game. I've seen some tape from him. He's a really good bench point guard. He's really shifty. He can handle the ball and he can shoot, man. Like I really like Malachi Flynn. Now everyone knows Gary Trent Jr. from that Norman Powell trade. I feel like Gary Trent Jr. is really going to be here for the long run, man. I really like his game, especially when he was in the Trailblazers. Every time he'd verse against the Rockets, this guy would always go off. So definitely a good pickup by Masai Ujiri to get Gary Trent Jr. from Norman Powell, because although Norman Powell is better than Gary Trent, Norman Powell is gonna ask for a lot of money, even more than Gary Trent Jr. So, but the edge for Gary Trent Jr. is that he's a restricted free agent, so we could match any offer that any team offers him. So other than that, we got Khem Birch and Chris Boucher, two really solid big men for the Toronto Raptors. Now, I think that Khem Birch is not a starting center, even though he's actually been really good for the Toronto Raptors, man. Coming from the middle of the season and kind of transitioning into a new team, I think Khem Birch is really good for them. It's just that I don't think he's a starting caliber center, because I don't think he's ready for that. I think he's still like 23 years old, if I'm not wrong. So other than that, Chris Boucher, now although that they run Chris Boucher at the center sometimes, I don't really like it, because Chris Boucher has a really small frame that basically gets him bullied in the paint, because he's really small. He doesn't have any muscle mass. So if he gets bullied in the paint, then it's basically over, because they're gonna go to the paint. If he's versing Embiid, they're gonna go to the paint for Joel Embiid, post up, and the score. So now the second thing that I really like on this team is that we have picks on this team. Now the Raptors basically have their first round pick until 2027, so they have all their first round picks right until 2027. So, and then in between we have a couple of second round picks, because some trades. I think I'm not really too sure where this where those picks came from, but we have a lot of draft. I'm not really saying like we have a lot of draft capital, but we definitely have some flexibility, because those picks might be really valuable in the future, considering that Lowry might leave in the future. With those Sixers trade talks, pursuing him in the future. Maybe Kyle Lowry leaving in the offseason to maybe Miami or some other team. So for picks, we're not looking too bad, but it definitely could be a little bit more. Now, the third thing I want to say about this team is that the coaching and the GM of the the Raptors, I really like it. Now, the coach is Nick Nurse, and he's one of my favorite coaches in the league, besides, I would say maybe, I don't know, man, maybe Doc Rivers. He's not bad, but Nick Nurse is one of my favorite coaches in the league, man. This guy was the one who coached that 2018-2019 Raptors, bro. I watched that finals. It was so lit, man. But I really love Nick Nurse, bro. It's that unfortunate that they lost Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol, bro, because those are really good. Those are really two important anchors to their defense, and with Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol being able to stretch the floor, it's really restricting them now with Aaron Baines, who's basically been horrible this whole season. So. And then we also got the GM of the Raptors, Masai Ujiri. We already know this guy. This guy's not afraid to make any moves. He traded Jonas Valanciunas for Marc Gasol in that 2018-2019 season. Traded DeMar DeRozan and Jakob Poeltl for basically Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green, which was probably the best move that he's made in his whole career because, that basically led us to the championship. Now this season he has definitely made some questionable moves, getting DeAndre Bembry and Aaron Baines, two probably the worst pickups of the season because they've just not been good for us, especially Aaron Baines. So but yeah, like I think the future of the Raptors is really good considering that Fred VanVleet is a borderline all-star and is only 26. Pascal Siakam is still playing to a high level, even though he's been underwhelming this season, not to the player that we knew he could be. That most improved player, Siakam, that we knew he could be. But other than that, OG Anunoby is a really good player, really interesting player that the Toronto Raptors might decide to move on from if they decided to, because he definitely has a lot of value. Could definitely bring some defense, but also some shooting, maybe off the bench to some other team. So, and also got Gary Trent Jr., a really good shooter. I really love his game. We already know who Gary Trent Jr. is. Malachi Flynn, good bench piece moving forward. Could definitely develop into something good for them. Maybe a really good backup point guard for them. But and we also got Kevin Birch and Chris Boucher. They could probably keep Chris Boucher and Birch because they could develop into something good, man. But I think they definitely need to go for a center in the offseason. Hopefully they get one, man, because it's really horrible out there. They're getting cooked in the paint, man. With Chris Boucher injured right now, Kevin Birch is playing a lot of minutes, and Aaron Baines. We already know who Aaron Baines is, the guy's ass. So I'm not really too worried about Aaron Baines. So a lot of moves need to be made by Masai Ujiri in the offseason, man. A lot of moves. They need to improve this bench, and hopefully Masai Ujiri can bring them to the promised land, bro. Another championship in the near future. But I definitely believe in this Raptors team, and it's only up from here. So that's the end of the video. If you guys liked the video, drop a like down below, press the subscribe button. It would help the algorithm, help grow the channel, tell people like Toronto Raptors content, and help grow the channel in general. So if you guys do, drop a like down below, press the subscribe button, and I'm out. Peace.